What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. We got Albert in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Amy, Andy, Bill, Dragon rocking with us. Good morning to Cindy. We got Joe, Keith, Lauren, Lucian, Martinez in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Mike, Ray, Steve, TB in the house. All my people out in YouTube land. All my lurkers, not gonna say nothing all day. It's okay. I still love you. Hit that like and subscribe button. But I mean, we'll cover these nonsense industries or segments of the market, but there's only one thing to watch right now, which is AMD. No, I shouldn't say that. There's a couple, but AMD would be the big one, especially if you own anything tech-wise, to get a good pulse for how the chip market is going to hold, if it's going to be strong. AMD is going to be the one to watch. But other than that, we'll take a look at some of these indices. We got inside candle, little just again, we got a brand new week. We could take a look at the weekly candle. We had 2 weeks ago, a little bit of a high wave. We proved that the market still wants to go higher from here. Good close for last week. Although it seemed like it was getting a little choppy a little bit toward the end of the day. Other than that, for today, it is a gap and go. We are clearing, which I'm going to put this as my support, 670.22. If we can stay above that, that should be positive for bulls. We probably do pull back a little bit, maybe at open. That would make sense, just being an inside day candle, and then we have to see if we start holding that support. Other than that, right now, at least, then there's a little bit of a potential bull trap up there. The weekly doesn't seem as much. Let's do one more thing. Let's see where we're at for the monthly. Monthly, we're still decent too, so not too bad. But watch that support somewhere around this 670.22 zone. And again, nothing really holding us back except for Friday's psychological level, 672.64. If we get back up there, we'll see if we can break out from there. Qs. Qs, yeah, they look pretty fantastic. Good gap and go from, and this Friday wasn't really a retest gap. It was a bearish gap and go. We did break through support. The nice thing about the Qs, we did run into that support, which is a pretty decent major one. We did break it for a little bit. Okay close. I think we're probably trapping some more bears on the Qs than we are for the SPY. So maybe a small pullback at all-time highs. Other than that, that looks like a pretty fantastic gap and go. I've got no levels higher from here. So use your imagination. Otherwise, to the downside. I think if we get into the 605.82, a really good one. I don't think we get down there today, but 603.81 would be Friday's VPOC. I think if you get a small pullback, watch at 605.82. I think that would tell us a lot pretty early on if we're going to just give this entire gap and go back or not. And then, like I said, a lot of it is going to depend on probably AMD for today, but we got BTC, USD. Crypto hitting all-time highs on Sunday. So yesterday we hit all-time highs. We got up to 125, 725. So still looks good. For today, we're still making higher VPOCs currently. That's good. Watch that all-time high for your next psychological level. Otherwise, anything Coinbase, Mara, Riot, MSTR, all should be looking pretty strong as well. So we'll see if the market wants to hold that up. That should hold the SPY and Qs as well. So we'll see. Um, Somehow gold's gapping up as well. So if you're still bullish on gold, looks good into, I believe, all-time high on this one. Yep. So gold all-time highs on this gap up. This one is a little bit of maybe retest, but I think you have some concerns with France. I think Japan as well. So um, little bit of a concern in the dollar, I think, and you're getting some of these other names that are holding. Silver, same thing. Silver gapping close to all-time highs. We actually did put all-time highs in on Friday. I think before, about 20 minutes ago when I was looking at it, we were actually again at all-time highs, so maybe pulling back a little bit. But watch some support around 43.65 if you're in silver. Otherwise, yep, all metals look pretty decent for now. TV says, where will the trade for 200 weekly challenge be posted? That is, I don't know if he does it at a certain time, but that's gonna be in Slack. Yep, so check Slack on that one. I think it's like midday usually. The options channel, yep. Specifically the options channel in Slack. So make sure you put yourself into that channel as well. Let's see. AMD. All right, we'll get to it. Lauren says C, like in Citigroup. No, I don't think I'm just shocked because nobody's requested Citigroup in 5 years. That's all. I'll take a look. AMD daily chart. We had a pullback on Friday. We kind of broke down levels that we probably shouldn't. All of that just to really get back into this little bit of a retest zone. Then today, which would be news, not technicals, but a little bit of a surprise gap up. I don't know. Is this all-time highs? I don't think so. We're very, very close to it. But you have OpenAI working with, we're announcing a deal with AMD. It doesn't sound like it's a financial deal in any aspect, but the market is absolutely loving this thing. And I think OpenAI has a conference all day today, I believe. But all-time high for AMD is 227.30. So we might hit that before the bell rings today. We'll have to see how this works. Very, very strong on this one. Close to those all-time highs. Anything open AI news related for any company is going to be a huge gainer in the market. So you're up over, I think this is over 35% right now. OpenAI is buying AMD 10%, or is AMD buying OpenAI? OpenAI is buying 10% of AMD. All right. Good gap. I don't think I could go long at this level for a day trade at least. I guess I would short. There's more than enough room for a short on this thing. I don't think we come all the way back down to this 169 anytime soon. Maybe if you're shorting, you're looking to get down to like 212.22. Yeah, you're in for a swing. I was in it for a swing. Unfortunately, I hit my target, so I got out. I got in. Where was I? I think I was down at like this 152, and I was out by like 167 or something like that. I made good money on the swing. I would have made a heck of a lot more money if I didn't turn my computer on to see or have any targets in place. But so be it. At least I was long, not going short on that one. But yeah, still looks strong. Nvidia is looking a little bit weak on that news. Again, direct competition. AMD to AMD getting the positive news. No negative news for Nvidia, but obviously a rival does well. You're gonna get a little bit of a pullback. For this one, if you get a retest, which it is a retest gap, watch for 185.85. If it can't break through that, it's probably going to be your resistance. One higher would be 187.51. I don't. Nvidia is just massive. I don't think the news collapses Nvidia by any stretch of the imagination, but a little bit of a pullback here. Again, retest gap. Look for your first support, 183.25, and then you got 181.84. We'll stick with chips and you getting an upgrade. I think it was to 200. Let me see if I can find that news real quick. Was it two or was it over two? I think they had a 220 target. Yep. So they got another boost at all-time highs. So another upgrade for them going from I think maybe they had 200 before, but for some reason I have the 200 in my head. But they got to upgrade to 220 again, retest gap, so be careful on buying at the open at least 188.28, but good positive news for them as well. C. And then I see a couple others I'm gonna get to. Citigroup looks decent. Got a lot of room on it. Good location. So small pullback. Watch for like 98, 93. If we don't hold that, we're most likely fully retesting then. With one other spot that could get held up, 98.51. So watch that spot if we start to break down 98.90. Otherwise, there is some room to the higher side. Your next immediate spot, 99.35. I think you can probably take that out to the bullish side. You are starting at least to trap some shorts. Not a heck of a lot, but a decent amount. But looking for 99.35 would be your first target, second target. And I think that's probably where we stop. That looks like a decent resistance. 99.80 for Citigroup. So try to buy it a little bit lower, but you do have that first support was slightly above. If we can stay above it at open. Let's see. We got Oracle. Oracle, I believe, had a good gap up as well. This one's opening right into a resistance, so it is a gap and go. If we go a little bit higher on this one, it might be decent. There we go. We just jumped a little bit. So anything above 292.18. The only problem is you still have this 293.62 as your next resistance, and that is a pretty big one. If you could break through that, I think your next target takes you like 298.91. So you do have a lot of room if you get through this one. Really, really, what should have been a good support. We did try it over here, so you are still opening into that resistance. Maybe see if there's a little chop, or we run up into the 293.62 zone first, get rejected, and then second time we push up. Or if the market just rings and everyone's bullish everything, because why not? We'll see if that one pushes higher from there. Baba was a little bit weaker today. I don't know if it recovered, not yet, and it's got plenty of room, kind of in both directions. You do have your next target to the downside, somewhere around 181.13. But they're getting a little bit of a pullback after just, I mean, enormous run. You do have a blow off hammer top. I would say this is a retest gap from yesterday, so maybe the low or the closing price of that candle, 187.86 would be a better spot for risk reward if it wants to get bid up at the open. Otherwise, maybe you run back into this 189.44, which would be a really good resistance. Anything above it, we go higher. We're taking probably another level. But I wouldn't go. I don't know. Uh, Bob is tough because a lot of it too. It depends on the Chinese market. So when our market's closed, China does its thing. If they have good news, but you do see like a couple days down, you didn't even feel this gap anywhere close. And then you just get more positive news and it runs. So still very very strong. I'd be careful shorting overnight. If you want to try it, maybe with some puts potentially, but anything above 189, I'll go 189.50 if we get any kind of closes or 189.60. Above that, I would close out the puts and let it do its thing and take another stab somewhere. But this one can be trickier to trade. But for now, if this thing could get bid up higher, which shares or day trade, probably to the short side, you still have a decent amount of room to the downside. For that one, since we're on China, I think Neo is pulling back a little bit as well. A little bit of, I guess, three bar reversal ish, but this one's opening down 3 cents, still holding on to a little support, 764. Um, Again, I don't know if China's really that strong for today. I think there's a lot of other names to go bullish on. Doesn't mean that probably some of these names after the push that we just had in the last couple of weeks really need to hang out, chill out for a while. PLTR. Palantir is a gap and go for today. Still inside candle. That's not a good, healthy looking candle, although we just really came into some decent support almost. Didn't even quite get there. We got 170.33 would be kind of where that bigger support is. You are opening to a little resistance. If we could get above and stay above 177.51, all right, we could lean to the bullish side, but you're gonna have a whole bunch of resistance on the way up. I think anything under 177.50. Not saying it's going to be an amazing push to the downside, but maybe get some continuation from the day we put it in on Friday. Other than that, next big support that you're going to want to try to hold, which we did not hold on Friday, is 175.30. And then you got yesterday's VPOC, which would 174.42. I was gonna say that'd probably be my final target, but if we get some continuing week, maybe we break this down and then you could finally get into this 170.22 zone. And then a bigger level if we get there. The next level after that would be 164.69. So we have a lot of room to the downside. Looks like it's trying to hang in there for today. Palantir has been a buy the dip name for quite some time now. So high wave candle, if you want to try it bullish. I'm just more concerned about some of the resistance to the higher side on that one. For right now, you got Meta. Meta is has not been looking good lately. Pretty clear double top. You have a little bit of a head and shoulders on it. Not picture perfect. I would say more of a double top, lower high. And this one's still coming down. Next big level on this one to the downside is $700.29. And then if we can't hold that, it starts to get a little bit uglier down to like 684.55. And then we start approaching almost that 200 EMA, which is somewhere right around 670.22-ish. So I don't think we're buying the dip yet in Meta. It still looks weak, but if it wants to bounce first, where is the VPOC? VPOC, I think, was probably right in here. I can't even see it. Yep, right at that last support line that we had. So we'll see. Somewhere around 7:15, 13 will be a full-on retest of yesterday's VPOC. The closer you get to there, the better. I don't know if we make it all the way up there. But 7:10.49 would be an interesting spot to go short. I think it's still got more room to the downside. At minimum, I think you'd get down to 704.02. Otherwise, I think your next spot takes you to that $700 mark once again. But yeah, does that was not a great looking Friday. Not everything in this market is straight bullish right now. You still have kind of a little bit of mixed market. Shopify. Shopify is okay. I'm gonna check this one out. This was 2 days ago. Um, they also partnered with OpenAI Chat GPT. That's your play. I mean, if I own a company, I'm just gonna sign up for the $20 a month Chat GPT and claim that I partner with them. All right. Hold rating, but increased its price target to 156 from 130. So that would still give us a lower price point than where we're at now. That is a retest gap. I would, again, just going to be shorting tons and tons of strength. Not at all-time highs. Huge resistance. 169.01 if we get there. Anything above that one, and we're probably looking for all-time highs. So I would put it as you have maybe, yeah, 169.01. I've got resistance from November 16th, 2021, and I've been saying this market kind of feels a little 2021-ish. And now we're just retesting levels from that year, which is kind of wild. But and then you have the resistance from November 19th, 2021 as well. So we are, if somebody beg held all the way through there, they're finally close to break even. Most people probably profitable. This one probably fades. I think this one closes the gap, even if it's going to make a new all-time high. So I'd be looking more short than long, at least for a day trade on this one. Even though the price targets that you're getting put out is lower than the current price as well. So I'll move this one a bit higher. There might be a short potential in here. The other one too that is making some headlines today, Archer Aviation, partnering probably with OpenAI, I'm guessing. It's the only thing that would make anything move. Um, they did have an announcement. I forget what it was though. Yesterday they came out. I believe something with the government. But nonetheless, that looks good. As long as this one could stay up past $12, so $12.06 roughly. Stay above that one, and this one still has a little bit more room to go, which I believe we also got into already pre-market. But $12.70 is your next big resistance for it. Anything past that, you got room up to 13.51. So not bad on that one. The other one I saw, I'm surprised we got Citigroup requests over Plug. I'm kind of shocked actually, but Plug's still quietly moving. This one is nearing some big resistance. Anything I think past really $4.85. I was scrolled out on this picture. Again, we had upgrades to $7. We got a bunch of things that are just still at much lower pricing, but this looks like we IPO'd. We finally came into good support after a nice run up. I'm not saying we're going to get back to all-time highs on this one by any stretch of the imagination, but you got volume starting to come in. You found some decent levels of support. There seems like we broke out of that downtrend, and maybe you could get a nice little push future-wise in plug. Maybe get some rally or continuation. Earnings, they've been a miss. I think we hit one positive earnings on plug. So financials, a little different. I don't think I put this as a long-term holds. Some people are definitely believers in it. I'm not quite in that camp yet until I see some kind of actual positive numbers, but good volume starting to come in. Nice breakout, and it is up a decent amount today as well. It also had a really good run on Friday, 34% as well. Tesla. I'm mad at Tesla. I'm mad at myself, really. I was waiting. I was like, I wanted to get in somewhere around, I think it was like 417.90. I was gonna buy some contracts. Friday, I walked out of the room like when it was like 425, and I was like, all right, if it comes down, it's probably not gonna do it today, but if it comes down to that 417.90, I'll buy some calls, I'll buy some contracts. By the time I got back to the room, it was like back to like 425. I was like, man, I missed it. So, yeah, I didn't get to buy calls in this run up. Be careful on this one. It is a good gap and go, but you have a monster resistance at 442.44. I think you have one other resistance slightly higher, 443.63. If you could start closing outside of those ranges, maybe use the opening price of Friday's candle, start getting above that. Then you do have really good room back to 460 again. I just wanted to buy that one lower. So for today, if it comes back down, I'm gonna be watching yesterday's VPOC 428.98 for today, as a potential buy spot. If we start breaking that again, I will look again at 417.90. My biggest problem is if I do that, we've now already been there, and then we have that gap fill around 394.54 would be the next spot that I'd be looking to try to go bullish on Tesla. So good gap up for today. Just a lot of overhead resistance that we'd have to kind of break through. SoundHound, SOUN. Okay. Depends on where this one actually wants to open. If it opens where it's at now, I like it a lot. Get this one higher on the list. Soundtowns. I want this one to stay above 1817. I want that to be my support. Anything under 1817, the next spot to look, but it wouldn't be my favorite, would be 1794. So you got five minutes. We'll see where this thing actually opens. But next target on this one will take you all the way up to probably psychologically 1910. And then you have one more level at like 1933. But that's a pretty good location. Potential double top. Doesn't look like the Bulls are giving up quite yet on it. So that looks decent. Roku. Roku is a gap and go for today. Also looks pretty good. Clearing that last pivot still right at the high end of it. It is a gap and go for today. Resistance on this one, 105.12. So I would let that one break out just to make sure we're just not gonna hit our heads against it. So anything above 105.12, I think then you get your next kind of push. Otherwise, I think we're still playing off that momentum from October 1st. So good breakout candle, 2 days resting, gap and go for today. I'd have no choice but to lean bullish on that one as well. Just watch out for that one little resistance spot from Thursday. MSTR. Take a look at that one. We push this one a little bit higher on the list too. We got it right there. MSTR. We have Bitcoin at all-time highs. Again, this is a leveraged Bitcoin play. So we do have Bitcoin sitting at or close to all-time highs. Yesterday was all-time highs. MSTR has not gotten back there yet. So a little interesting. There seems to be a little divergence. Again, if you like Bitcoin, I personally would probably use MSTR for me as a trading tool, not an investment tool. I would rather just buy Bitcoin if you have access to do so. If it's a retirement fund, something like that, you don't have access. Um, all right, MSTR might be a decent way to go. Other than that, retest cap, you have a little bit of resistance support. Let's see if we can stay above 363.25. If you get past that, you have a bunch of resistance in the way, 366.72, and then you got 371.35. Otherwise, it is a retest gap. I prefer maybe a small pullback first. Quite honestly, 357.47 would be a good spot, and then 351.68, but still a little jumbled up. You did have a good breakdown candle on September 25th. Quickly got above that. That looks like a trap to me. We probably do go higher, bigger targets if you're in it for a swing. I'd say maybe look for like 387.93 is your next bigger spot. And that kind of closes up that little gap up there as well. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, I would expect some bullish momentum as long as Bitcoin doesn't pull back today. And Bitcoin also has a few days in a row as well. So just watch that. Uh, LOW, lows. Lows. Good high wave candle. Not too much volume on Friday. Nothing too crazy yet. The close of that price or the VPOC from Friday was lower than the last two. I think we're still trending down on this one. And I would look for targets. And maybe not to, today is a gap and go inside day. If you're going to try it long for today for day trades, see if you get close as possible to like 246.57. Interesting spot, not quite hitting where I think the support would be, 244.87. So let's see if that hits that first. But right now, it's still to me, shopping. If there was more volume, I think that'd be a little bit more impressive of a gap and go. But it still looks a little bit to the weaker side. So far, not a bad spot if you're going to buy a couple shares, uh, just so you don't miss the play. And then AMD, we did cover pretty early on, but I see another request for it. So for again, for day trade purpose, you're at or very close to all-time highs, even closer than when we started to look. So be careful of that one. I think I'd rather be almost in a fade, although I just probably won't day trade this one for today. But we'll see what happens. Other than that, that is the morning bell. Everybody YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Hit it already. Was that pre-market? I missed it. I missed the history. But YouTube land,